The first sign something was wrong came when the power went out. Noah Reed had spent the past 3 years living off-grid in the middle of nowhere, his only companions a solar generator, a battered old dog named Rex, and an extensive collection of cheap sci-fi novels. He'd always figured if aliens were real, they'd go for politicians or scientists, not a guy like him. So when the sky lit up with an otherworldly green glow, he thought it was just one of those aurora borealis things. He'd seen it on TV once, and it looked kind of similar. But when the light turned into a blinding beam that seemed to pull him straight out of his armchair, he realized he might have underestimated the situation. Noah woke up strapped to a smooth glowing table in a room that could have been ripped straight from one of his novels. The walls were metallic and curved, pulsating faintly with a bluish light. Above him, a shimmering hologram hovered, displaying symbols he couldn't understand. His heart pounded as he struggled against the restraints. "Welcome, eligible male," a sultry melodic voice purred. Noah froze. Standing before him was a tall, impossibly beautiful alien woman. Her skin shimmered with a soft silver glow, and her large almond-shaped eyes sparkled like stars. She wore a tight, flowing outfit that seemed more decorative than practical, and her lips curled into an amused smile as she watched him squirm. Hi," Noah said, his voice cracking. She tilted her head, her expression equal parts curiosity and mischief. "You are Noah Reed of Earth, are you not?" "Yeah, that's me," he admitted, though he wasn't sure if he should have. "But, I think you might have the wrong guy." The alien woman leaned closer, her silver eyes narrowing. "You match the profile precisely. Do not attempt to deceive us. You are the most eligible bachelor on your planet, are you not?" Noah blinked. "What? No." "God, no. I live in a shack. I wear the same pants 3 days in a row. I'm like, aggressively single." The woman's smile didn't falter. "Precisely. Earth's media portrays your disdain for companionship as enigmatic and alluring. You were chosen for the intergalactic matrimonial trials for your unparalleled desirability." "I think there's been a mistake," Noah said, his voice rising. "I'm not desirable. I'm—" "You will comply," she interrupted, her tone firm. "The trials are an ancient and honored tradition. Your participation is mandatory." Before Noah could protest further, the restraints released, and he was pulled to his feet by an invisible force. The alien woman gestured toward a shimmering doorway that opened behind her. Beyond it, he could see a sprawling arena filled with vibrant lights, cheering alien crowds, and towering holograms displaying his face. "No way," Noah muttered, his stomach sinking. "This can't be real." "Oh, it is very real," the alien woman said with a grin. "And you are about to meet your future brides." Noah was shoved into the arena, the roar of the alien crowd deafening. He squinted against the blinding lights as a booming voice announced, "Welcome to the Intergalactic Matrimonial Trials, featuring this cycle's most coveted prize, Noah Reed of Earth." "I am so dead," Noah muttered under his breath. As he stumbled to the center of the arena, a platform rose from the ground, revealing a lineup of alien women unlike anything he'd ever imagined. Each was stunning in her own way, their appearances ranging from humanoid to distinctly alien. There was a towering woman with emerald skin and sharp, angular features, a petite, bird-like alien with glittering feathers, and even a shimmering, translucent figure that seemed to shift and flow like liquid crystal. The crowd erupted into cheers as the announcer introduced each contestant. First, we have Zira, warrior of the Zenthari Nebula, whose strength is matched only by her ferocious passion. Zyra, the emerald-skinned warrior, stepped forward and gave Noah a smoldering look that made him take an involuntary step back. Next, Callus, the siren of Vega Prime, known for her enchanting voice and unparalleled beauty. The bird-like woman cooed softly, her eyes shimmering like opals as she fluttered her feathered arms. And finally, Ilara, the liquid lumina of Arathis, a being of pure energy seeking a perfect match to stabilize her form. The shimmering, translucent figure bowed gracefully, her movements mesmerizing. Noah stared at them, his mouth dry. This is a nightmare. The announcer's voice boomed again. The trials will test each contestant's compatibility with the Bachelor through challenges of strength, intellect, and intimacy. Let the games begin. Noah turned to bolt, but the alien woman who'd brought him here appeared beside him, her grip firm on his shoulder. There is no escape, Noah Reed. Embrace your fate. He groaned. Why does my fate involve dating aliens? Because, she said with a smirk, the galaxy needs your DNA. The floor of the arena shifted beneath Noah's feet, rippling like liquid metal. He stumbled as platforms rose and transformed around him, morphing into an elaborate obstacle course. Alien drones zipped overhead, projecting shimmering holograms of the contestants' faces alongside Noah's increasingly panicked expression. Round 1. Strength, the announcer boomed. Which contestant will prove they can protect the coveted Bachelor Noah Reed? Noah glanced at the alien women lined up before him. Syra, the emerald-skinned warrior, cracked her knuckles, her muscles rippling like steel cables. Callus, the bird-like siren, tilted her head, her opalescent feathers glinting in the light. Alara, the liquid lumina, simply shifted her form, her translucent body glowing brighter, as if in anticipation. Before Noah could fully process what was happening, a metallic roar echoed through the arena. From the far end of the course, a massive, multi-limbed alien beast emerged, its eyes glowing with menace. "Oh, come on," Noah yelled, backing away. "Why is there always a giant monster?" "The Bachelor's safety is paramount," the announcer declared. "Contestants, defend your prize." Zyra wasted no time. She launched herself at the beast with a primal scream, her emerald fists colliding with its armored hide. Sparks flew as she struck, her blows powerful enough to crack the creature's carapace. Callus, not to be outdone, leapt into the air, her wings unfurling as she let out a melodic screech that seemed to disorient the beast. It stumbled, clutching its massive head. Ilara, meanwhile, simply flowed forward, her liquid form wrapping around the beast's legs and solidifying, locking it in place. The creature roared and thrashed, but the combined efforts of the 3 contestants overwhelmed it. Within moments, the beast collapsed, defeated. The crowd erupted into cheers as Zyra turned to Noah, smirking. "Safe enough for you, Earthling?" Noah blinked, still in shock. "Yeah, sure. Thanks for that." "Round 1 complete," the announcer boomed. Zyra takes the lead, but the game is far from over. The arena shifted again, the obstacle course melting away to reveal a massive, glowing maze. Floating panels of light hovered above, displaying symbols that Noah couldn't begin to decipher. Round 2. Intellect, the announcer said. Our contestants will solve a series of puzzles to demonstrate their compatibility with the Bachelor's superior Earth intellect. Superior intellect? Noah muttered. They really don't know anything about me, do they? Each contestant was given a holographic tablet that displayed a complex series of patterns. Noah's job, apparently, was to help guide them through the maze, solving the puzzles along the way. He wasn't sure how any of this measured compatibility, but he figured it was better than fighting monsters. "Let's see what you've got." "Human," Callus said, her melodic voice tinged with amusement. Sure," Noah said, squinting at the glowing symbols. "This one looks like a star? Or maybe a fish. Wait, no, it's upside down." Callus sighed. "You are truly a genius." Despite his fumbling, the contestants navigated the maze with relative ease. Zyra powered through her puzzles with brute force, smashing one of the holographic panels when it didn't cooperate. Callus relied on her sharp instincts, solving each challenge with precision. Ilara, true to her nature, simply shifted her form to mimic the symbols, bypassing most of the puzzles entirely. By the end of the round, Noah felt thoroughly useless, but the crowd seemed thrilled. "Round 2 complete," the announcer said. "Ilara demonstrates exceptional adaptability, but the competition remains fierce." As the arena transformed once more, Noah's dread grew. The platforms reconfigured into what looked like a massive stage, complete with a shimmering backdrop of stars and a pulsing rhythm that vibrated through the air. Round 3. Intimacy. the announcer declared. Contestants, demonstrate your compatibility through dance. Noah's jaw dropped. Dance? Are you serious? The alien woman who had brought him here, who Noah had come to think of as his captor, appeared beside him again. This is an ancient and honored tradition, she said, barely hiding her amusement. You would not want to dishonor the trials, would you? Noah groaned. I can barely dance on Earth, let alone in front of an intergalactic audience. Zira approached him first, her movements bold and confident. She grabbed his hands and pulled him into a routine that felt more like a sparring match than a dance, her strength keeping him from collapsing under the pressure. Despite the intensity, there was something oddly exhilarating about it. Callus followed, her dance far more graceful. She twirled around him, her feathered arms creating dazzling patterns in the air. Her movements were hypnotic, and Noah found himself drawn into the rhythm, despite his complete lack of coordination. Elara went last, her form shifting and flowing like liquid light. She moved around Noah, her glowing figure casting ethereal patterns on the stage. When she touched his hand, a jolt of warmth shot through him, leaving him momentarily speechless. By the end of the round, Noah was exhausted, embarrassed and more confused than ever. Round 3 complete, the announcer proclaimed. The competition grows closer as the contestants vie for Noah's favor. Noah glanced at the 3 alien women, each stunning in their own way, and muttered under his breath, I am so out of my league. The cheering of the crowd began to fade as the arena dimmed. Noah had barely caught his breath when the floor shifted once again, forming a quieter, more intimate setting. This time, it resembled a luxurious lounge, complete with strange glowing furniture and a floating bar that dispensed swirling, iridescent drinks. The alien contestants were scattered across the room, each giving Noah sly or expectant glances. This next phase, the announcer's voice purred, is for bonding. Our contestants will spend private time with the Bachelor to prove their compatibility. Noah rubbed his temples. Bonding? What does that even mean? It means, a familiar voice said from behind him, you're about to learn more about us than you bargained for. He turned to see Zira, the emerald-skinned warrior, towering over him. She gestured for him to follow, her smirk daring him to argue. Reluctantly, he trailed behind her to a secluded corner where she sat on a curved, glowing couch, crossing her arms. All right, Earthman, she said, her sharp features lit by the pulsing lights of the room. You've seen what I can do. I'm strong. I'm loyal. But I'm not here to play games. Why should I waste my time fighting for you? Noah blinked. Because I didn't ask for any of this? Zira leaned forward, her piercing gaze locking onto his. Exactly. That's what makes you different. Most males in these trials are desperate for attention. You'd rather be anywhere else. Noah frowned. And that's a good thing? Zira chuckled, a low, throaty sound. It's refreshing. Most males throw themselves at me. You're not afraid to run in the other direction. I like a challenge. Before Noah could respond, a soft, melodic voice interrupted. Am I interrupting something? Callus, the bird-like siren, glided toward them, her feathers shimmering in the low light. She tilted her head, her opalescent eyes narrowing slightly as she addressed Zira. You're not the only one here to bond with him, warrior, she said, her voice calm but pointed. Perhaps it's my turn. Zira rolled her eyes but stood giving Noah one last smirk before walking away. Callus took her place, sitting gracefully beside him. You must think all of this is ridiculous, she said, her tone softer than he'd expected. You think? Noah replied, rubbing the back of his neck. This whole thing feels like some weird fever dream. Callus studied him for a moment, her eyes unreadable. It's not so different for us, you know. We didn't exactly sign up for this either. Noah raised an eyebrow. Wait, you don't want to be here? Callus hesitated, her gaze dropping. I was chosen by my people. They think this is an honor, but it's more of a burden. Winning your favor means survival for my kind. Failure means exile. Noah felt a pang of guilt. For the first time, he saw the trials for what they really were, a cruel game with stakes far higher than he'd realized. As Callus left, giving him a fleeting, sorrowful smile, Noah turned back to the lounge. Alara, the liquid lumina, was waiting for him near the bar. Her glowing form pulsed faintly as she approached, her translucent body shifting with every step. "You seem troubled," she said, her voice echoing softly, as if it came from within his mind. "You think?" Noah said, trying not to let his exhaustion show. "I'm stuck in some intergalactic dating show where the losers get, what, kicked off the planet?" Ilara tilted her head, her features unreadable. "The stakes are different for each of us. For me, failure means dissolution. Without a compatible bond, my form will eventually destabilize." Noah stared at her, stunned. "You're telling me you'll die if you lose?" Ilara nodded slowly. "The trials are a chance for survival, but only one of us can win. It's cruel, yes, but such is the way of the galaxy." Noah's mind raced. This wasn't just some bizarre reality show. It was life or death for the contestants, and he was the prize they were fighting over. As the bonding phase ended, Noah found himself alone, his thoughts a whirlwind of guilt and frustration. He couldn't let this continue, but he didn't know how to stop it. The arena's announcer spoke again, its voice booming. "Prepare for the final round. Only one contestant can claim the Bachelor." "Nope," Noah muttered, standing abruptly. "Not happening." He stormed out of the lounge, ignoring the protests of the alien woman who had abducted him. He had no plan, no escape route, only the desperate hope that he could somehow sabotage the trials and free the contestants from this twisted competition. Noah's heart raced as he navigated the labyrinthine corridors of the alien ship, his mind set on one goal: ending the trials and freeing the contestants from their perilous competition. The walls pulsed with an otherworldly light, casting eerie shadows that danced with his every move. He stumbled upon a control room, its center dominated by a massive console brimming with unfamiliar symbols and holographic displays. Taking a deep breath, Noah approached, his fingers hovering uncertainly over the controls. "All right, Noah," he muttered to himself. "Time to channel your inner sci-fi hero." Recalling scenes from his beloved science fiction novels, he began pressing buttons and swiping at holograms, hoping to trigger anything that would disrupt the trials. Alarms blared and the ship shuddered, but the trials continued unabated. "What are you doing?" a familiar voice demanded. Noah spun around to see Zira, Callus, and Alara standing in the doorway, their expressions a mix of confusion and concern. "I'm trying to end this madness," Noah replied, frustration evident in his voice. "I can't stand by and watch you risk your lives over me." Callus stepped forward, her opalescent eyes softening. "We appreciate your concern, Noah, but the trials are beyond your control." "Maybe not," Ilara interjected, her form shimmering with newfound determination. "If we work together, we might find a way to override the system." Zyra nodded, her emerald skin glinting under the ambient light. "Agreed. Let's end this, once and for all." With the contestants' help, Noah deciphered the alien technology, their combined efforts gradually overriding the ship's systems. As they worked, a sense of camaraderie blossomed among them, transcending the competition that had once pitted them against each other. Suddenly, the ship's AI voice echoed through the corridors. "Warning, unauthorized access detected. Initiating self-destruct sequence." "You've got to be kidding me," Noah groaned. "We need to reach the escape pods," Zira urged, her warrior instincts kicking in as they sprinted through the ship, dodging collapsing structures and bursts of steam. Noah couldn't help but marvel at the irony of his situation. Here he was, a self-proclaimed loner, risking everything alongside three extraordinary alien women he'd only just met. They reached the escape pods just as the ship's AI began its final countdown. Clambering into a pod, they launched into the void of space, the ship erupting into a brilliant explosion behind them. Floating in the pod, the tension gave way to relief. Noah looked at his companions, a genuine smile tugging at his lips. "So, he began. What now? Callus chuckled softly. Now, we find our own paths, free from the trials. Elara nodded, her form glowing warmly. And perhaps we've found friends in the most unexpected of places. Cyrus smirked, her eyes twinkling with mischief. Who knew the galaxy's most eligible bachelor would be such a troublemaker? Noah laughed, the sound echoing through the cramped pod. Guess I'm full of surprises. As they drifted toward an uncertain future, Noah realized that, despite the chaos and danger, he'd found something he'd been missing all along. Connection. And in the vast expanse of space, that was a treasure worth more than any prize.